If you're sick of not being able to get shows, or perhaps the venues you frequent are not in touch with what's popular right now, and you feel you can fill a much needed gap in the market, then perhaps it's time to start your own nightclub. Now, I know some of you might think starting your own nightclub sounds a little bit far-fetched, but I'm not talking about buying a nightclub. I'm just talking about putting together a concept and then finding a venue that you can run your events at on a regular basis. Now, if you have no idea about finding a venue, check out my previous video earlier in this series where basically I talked about, well, it's called How to Start a Nightclub, right? But this video is more about how you run the nightclub once you have arranged a deal with the venue. So the previous video was all about getting the club and basically like what to expect when approaching venues and how to go about that. But anyway, so now, when it comes to running parties, trust me, you're not going to find anyone with more experience. I ran successful club events all around Australia every single week, often several events per week for nearly 20 years, right? Which is a long time. And I know the ins and outs of running clubs more than the majority of people. So here goes. Firstly, the only way your event is going to succeed is if you are truly passionate about it and you're 100% committed to making it successful, no matter what. Trust me, there will be ups and downs and you'll be tested on so many different levels. But if you stay determined to reach your goal and give it everything you have, you're going to succeed. Perseverance and optimism is absolutely everything. Now, once you've found a venue and decided the theme of the event, like for instance, maybe it's a tech house club, right? Or maybe you're doing a party club, an R&B club, whatever. And then basically you think about how often you want to run your party, like a monthly or weekly. After that, you're going to have to come up with a name for your party and then come up with a grand opening poster for your event so you can start promoting it. Now, if you want a poster on the cheap, you can design your own using the templates at canva.com. I'll link it in below. Or you could always hire a pro designer. Now, if you want to get sort of some design and check it out like on the cheap, check out places like fiverr.com, but admittedly, some of these are a bit hit and miss. Now, once you have your art, like a grand opening poster, you have a date for the grand opening, it's time to start thinking about the entertainment. Now, back in the day, probably because I had control issues, I used to DJ most of the night so I could assure the music went a particular direction. And this means I could also cut back on costs too. But if you know DJs you wish to work with and you have an idea for entertainment that does excite you, honestly, follow your intuition. My only advice is be careful of approaching the big DJs at first, especially if you have to go through some kind of agency to book them. Now, in my experience, when dealing with agencies, they're going to be pushing to get that DJ as much money as they can because they get a cut of that. And if you don't pay enough, it's not in their interest to book the DJ. So, and they also, here's the thing, they're going to know that you're new to it all and they may overcharge you. You could easily spend all your money on a DJ that may do next to no promo for the event, especially if they don't know you at all either. But what happens is people think, if I get this DJ, then they're going to bring all these people. But the truth is, if you're just starting out, you may not have the promo reach to be able to get the word out to enough people. And trust me, you can't rely on the DJ doing any promo. They're going to think that's your job. And even if they do a post or two about the show, if people haven't heard of you, or basically they haven't heard of you or your venue, and basically you haven't got any experience or runs on the board, people may not go anyway and they'll just opt to go see the DJ when they're playing at a more established venue. And you could spend all of your money on getting a DJ that gets paid thousands just for turning up and they contribute little otherwise. So loads of new promoters though, they get burnt this way, and I feel a lot of booking agencies take advantage of new promoters, sometimes implying that you need to build a relationship with them before they even start giving you the big DJs. And they're gonna like encourage you to book up and coming DJs that perhaps even haven't got a name yet. And sometimes you could pay $1,000 for some no-name DJ with the promise that once they get big, you'll be involved and you're building a relationship with this company. But the truth is, once they're big, they probably play at more established venues anyway, and they've used you as a stepping stone to build more awareness around their DJ. And the chances are that DJ has taken all your potential profits for the night and again contributed nothing. So in short, when starting out, I feel you may be better off working with local DJs, but not just talented DJs, but ideally DJs that you know will be part of your tribe. This means DJs that are keen to work with you. Ideally, they're going to help promote your event, and ideally, they also have a good fan base. As let's face it, if you can book 5 DJs and they all have like 30 friends each, you're going to be halfway there. Now, I wish it wasn't all about numbers, but the venues are going to be putting pressure on you to get numbers. And if you don't get numbers through the door, the venue may decide not to work with you. So numbers is actually like a big thing. And so here's the thing. Again, if you're not sure about how it all works with the venues, right, you got to check out my video about how to start a nightclub where I go into big depth about this. So that aside, so when thinking about your DJ team, I suggest looking for people that are not only talented, but also the people that are promoting their shows and they look to be involved in the local scene. They've probably got the most traction. Now, if DJs approach you wanting shows and you don't know them and you haven't heard of them, I would invite them to come to your party, right? And basically support the event so you can meet them at the event. This way, not only can they check it out and get inspired, right? But also you can weed out the people that are willing to work with you and basically they're willing to help the event as a whole by supporting it, from the people that just want to use you for shows but are not willing to contribute in any other way and they're not even going to come. So that's actually a good thing. But now, loads of people jump in around now and they say things like, shouldn't you be booking DJs based on talent? And yes, 100%, talent is like a massive ingredient. But I know from my student showcases that I can make every single DJ I work with amazing. There's no doubt. Like people are like, oh my God, wouldn't even think that they're beginners. So being talented DJ isn't necessarily that hard, right? I can make that happen for you. But here's the thing. When it comes to repeat shows, seeing everyone's talented, right? You're probably looking for the people that are most involved. And DJing these days needs to be turned around from thinking, what can I get from promoters, to what they can do to work with promoters. And the DJs that are willing to work with you in helping the event be as successful as possible are the most attractive and could be considered part of your team. Now, once you have your DJ lineup and art and you've created an event and you get everyone, you're like, I'd just get all the DJs to share it, everyone to share it, and you put as much attention into promoting and creating as much traction around your event as you can. Which leads us perfectly into the next section, and that is promoting the event. So one thing just on promoting the event, too often I see people launching events and I go to their Facebook page or social media to check it out, and their feed is full of nothing but promo posts advertising their next party. Don't do this. You need to make your page interesting and you need to build engagement. Now, this may mean posting and sharing funny music related memes or even posting videos of what you're up to. And in short, making your page as interesting as you can. Now, I know from running our pages that promo posts are always the ones that get the least traction. So if you're only doing promo posts and you're wondering why you're only getting a few likes, I suggest that you change it up a bit. So if you want more on this, right, like what to post, how to run your social media pages, I have a free marketing series in the free video training section on my website. So I'll link that in below, but there's a gold mine of information there. So, okay, promo aside, entertainment aside, venue aside, on the night, you're gonna need staff. So most likely, you're gonna have to provide a door girl to collect the money or the tickets, sometimes an assistant to the door girl, just so while the door girl's busy serving people aren't sneaking in, and you're going to want a photographer. So hopefully when you get a photographer, get someone that can also do videos. So this way you have loads of images and videos that you can use to do follow-up promotion, talking up the event success with the goal of building momentum and anticipation for your next party. Now, you're also going to need your DJs, and if you really want to go all out, I may suggest getting a host, like someone to stand out the front, not only to greet your guests, but pretty much to make sure everyone gets in okay and to secretly keep an eye on the security. Now, some security teams are great, but if you get bully security guards that like picking on people for no apparent reason, then that can destroy an event quicker than it started. I recently went out with some friends, right, to a venue and I was completely sober. And the security guard was really rude to me, right, and didn't let me in and made this big thing, right? And I backed out, like knowing how security works. And basically though, it was a little bit humiliating. So even though I liked the venue until then, right, I doubt I'll go back. And this experience made me realize firsthand what I've heard countless countless times, like from people that have complained about security teams, and I never see them again. So if the security really are bad, right, and they're pushing people around and stuff, right, push may come to shove and you probably have to find another venue. Now, when you do find a cool venue, right, with a cool security team, honestly, be grateful for them, man, because sometimes if you experience problems with security, like I'm saying, it can be a problem. So having a host to stand out the front and just make sure everything's going smoothly will give you, it covers all bases. Now, besides organizing staff on the night, you need to personally go around and make people feel significant. Pretty much make them feel like they're part of like something, like a movement, like you've started something, an extended family. Now, I remember a club I ran, right, and I started, it was called SFX in Sydney. Now, when it first started, I was only getting 50 people, but I went around to everyone there. I gave them free drink cards. I got their details, and I even found out what songs they liked and wanted to hear, and I made that club their club. Now, in time, that club built, right? At one point, we were getting close to 1,000 people every Saturday night consistently for over 5 years. Now, you need to build a scene around your party. There's no doubt about that. This means make people feel like they're part of that. And you, basically, by doing so, they feel significant and they will become devoted fans. Now, I remember once I was also building a club in Brisbane, and these two girls came in and I thought, wow, like they had like strong presence, and I approached them. And I gave them drinks and told them all about the vision of the night, made them feel included. Now they kept coming back, and even though I gave them street team and promoted positions, they loved it and they really were part of that team that we had. And building a good team and building like loyal followers, that's actually huge. So the point is, right, every single person counts, and before long, your clubs could be so packed you can no longer keep it, like basically all these one-on-one relationships going, as there are just too many people. And this is a really good problem to have. You're walking around packed clubs and it's like, what happened? Then, this is the big thing. So that's all like, pre-event, then actually on the night. But now I want to talk about after the event. See, after the event, you want to make sure that you post and talk up the success of the night. If people hear nothing from you and they say they were interested to see how it went, but they just didn't end up making it for whatever reason, they may go to your pages, right, like social media pages, just to see how it went. And if they see nothing, they may assume the worst. But if your tribe and you are posting videos and pictures where the club looks busy and sharing the highlights of the event and even expressing gratitude, then it creates an image of success. And in turn, this builds epic momentum and build up even for future parties. Now, running clubs is such a cool thing, but there will be ups and downs. The key is to resolve to enjoy yourself no matter what, and aim to make constant and never-ending improvements that over time sculpts a masterpiece of colossal proportions. Now, if you're interested in this whole side of the DJ world, you have to check out my marketing series in the free video section on my website. The truth is, I can't believe I'm giving half of this stuff away for free, but I guess my time of running clubs is over, and now it's time to pass the torch and take as many DJs with me or with you as you can. Preferably with my students. My students, at least, they're being conditioned about, what, not only how to be a good DJ, but what it takes to be successful. Now, the advantage of booking my students for shows is they are all being groomed about what it takes to be successful. The truth is, my DJs are killing it, and I hope you too can be part of my global tribe.